Hey folks, welcome back to Tim's Off Grid. I had one fatal flaw when I was doing the framing of the back wall. I used cripples above the back wall when we should have been doing a header. So it was as if I was designing the back wall above the window, like this was another window sill, and just throwing cripples in there. Now, maybe that would work if this was something that was non-load bearing and you really didn't care about it. But when I was going back and explaining what different studs represented, you know, cap plate, top plate, king stud, jack stud, seal, header. When I put my hand on here, I'm like, that's not a header. So I took the two cripples out, and the measurement is 27 inches. So I'm going to cut the first 27-inch board, and then we'll get that mounted in there. I'll cut the second 27-inch board, so I had the two of them together, and I'll screw those in, and then I'll have to make some new cripples to go above that. But that'll fix that. But you'll also see that I built the other wall in already. It didn't take long, less than 30 minutes to build one of those walls. I will film building the second wall on the left side, but there's just too much material in the way for me to film the first wall. All right, I'll be right back with the 27-inch 2x8. All right, here I come with the first 27-inch board for the header. So that means my measurements are really pretty good. I should not hurt myself trying to tap that in. I'll cut another 27-inch piece, and then we'll finish that up. All right, here's my second 27-inch piece. I'll bring that one in from behind. Let me get this one in. Let me get this one flush right here. That's pretty good. I may have to move my ladder to get this other one in here. Yeah, let me do that. This is kind of awkward. Yeah, it's pretty dead on. Just need to tap it in there. I'm going to go slow, just tapping this because I want it to finish flush. I didn't cut like a small piece of OSB to go between these two. That would be something you could do. So then it would be the exact width, but I didn't do that. So what I'm doing is these two boards, then they're flush. I'm going to slap a 24-inch board on top of them. I'm going to screw them from the bottom, put the board across, screw them from the top, and a couple cripples up here. My screws. Now I've got a solid header there. All right, let me cut one more 27-inch piece to go on there. All right, I'm going to tap that down and then put a few screws in it. And then after that, we can put the cap plate back on. I'm going to take just a little bit off of this. Okay, so I don't want this one pushing things out. So I'm going to trim like a 16th off of this thing. All right, that's perfect. So we're gonna come back here. I'll flip it over because I like that other edge way better. So we're gonna screw this down, and I'm gonna put a couple in from the sides as well. Now the 2x8 still gave me room to come in here and drill, which is fantastic. Now think about if you went larger. Some of these are used screws that I used when I took the top cap off. Top cap. So if you go larger on this header, you're not going to get your drill in here as easily. So that was one of the nice things of just going with 8-inch on there for that. I mean, I don't have to come in here from the side to put any screws, but I just feel like anything helps. You didn't see that. Left-handed drilling is not my thing. I don't even know where that one went. And I'm going to put a couple in here that hold the header in place. So I'm just doing top and bottom. And we'll do same thing on this other side, and then we'll go inside and put a few screws in it. And we'll also get this measurement for cripples up above the header. Yes, I need a new bit. All right, last 2 screws for this, or maybe the last 3 screws. We'll measure those cripples. Pretty solid. Yeah, screwing with my left hand, I can never get right. All right, we'll come back to that later. Let me get my tape measure, measure these cripples. Ten and a quarter. 10 and a quarter. All right, let me cut a couple of those. 10 and a quarter. I'll use the ones that we had in there before. Definitely I can screw them from the top and then I'll toe them in from the bottom. So I'll be right back with 10 and a quarter. Right, got the cripples. Grab some screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, I'm gonna take a little off. I don't want to knock these in too hard and push that top plate up any. Like magic, we're back. I think it was one of the first load bearing walls I did. And again, I wasn't paying attention like this time. And I designed it like a non-load bearing wall. And lo and behold, if I didn't have to redo it just like this one. But the good thing is we caught it at this stage and we weren't too far along. Let me just get the tape measure, make sure we're centered real quick. But that's pretty solid right there. I mean, this is a little 8x8, like a shed. Ethan calls it his tiny house. So I got 9 inches on center over there. I got 9 3/4. So obviously center is like 13 and a half. So that should be 6 and a half. If you did 3, but we're doing 2. So 27. Yep. I think it should be about 9 inches. Should be about right. So that would just mean This one needs to move over just a little bit. This is a little tighter than what I thought. Which is good that they're that tight, but they're not bowing anything. So I got about 9.5 right there. I got almost 9.5 right here. And in the center, I got 9.75. I will go with this. There we go. All right. Let me take my hammer and tap this one just a little bit. I think I'm having a flashback that I was pushing on something while standing on a ladder and I broke my arm. So versus straining and putting all that into it, I'm going to change drill bits. Get rid of that screw that I started to ruin with the jacked up bit. Make sure that hammer's not over my head. Let me get this tacked in here. Another one of these screws. I'll tell you, I think these are probably like a one-time use screw. You start trying to reuse these screws, I do think you start asking for it. I'm trying to get that screw flush in there because there we go. Got it. All right, that's not going anywhere. And we can put our top plate back, or our cap that makes up our double top plate. We can put that on now. Sounds like I'm be swapping out batteries here in a minute. Possibly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 more to get this back to where it was. Now you see how long this took to do all this rework. So I always seem to get rushed and then I make mistakes. But you see how much time that mistake cost me to go back and take all this apart, make those cuts, and put it back together again. So, lesson learned here. Number one, have a solid drawing or plan that you're following. This plan was in my head. I laid it out on the ground. And I still didn't catch that I had missed the header. Right, one more screw and we will wrap this up. But again, let's go over what's in this wall. King stud, jack stud, seal, header. All right, and cripples. The cripples technically should follow your 16-inch spacing or 24-inch spacing, whichever one you're using. I just split mine up and divided the difference between them. But to do it right, everything follows your 16-inch spacing, even if it was one that lands right here and then you had another one right there. So you end up with three. Technically, you should do that. This is a shed, not a house. So, all right, appreciate it. And that's my rework for today and setting things right. See y'all.